In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 MLB games happening on April 18, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. New York Yankees versus Tampa Bay Rays. The New York Yankees, holding an 11-7 record, are set to square off against the Tampa Bay Rays, who sit at 8-10 in the opening game of a 3-game divisional series scheduled for Friday evening. Both teams are looking to build some momentum, and this matchup sets the tone for what could be a closely contested weekend. While the Yankees have shown some consistency at home, they've hit a rough patch on the road, dropping 3 of their last 4 games heading into Thursday's slate. Meanwhile, the Rays have done a better job protecting their turf and come into this game with a home record that sits just over the .500 mark. On paper, this pitching duel leans in favor of the Rays, who look to exploit the Yankees' recent stumbles away from home. Carlos Rodon has been having a tough time getting into a rhythm. He's allowed 4 or more runs in 3 out of his 4 starts so far and has given up 5 homers along the way, which doesn't inspire much confidence. On the other hand, Drew Rasmussen has been lights out for Tampa Bay. He's held opponents to a single run across 20 innings pitched, boasting an incredible 0.6 earned run average. Even more impressive, Rasmussen has absolutely dominated the Yankees in the past, tossing 21 scoreless innings against them in his career. As our first pick for this matchup, the Tampa Bay Rays money line is our full game side pick. There's just not a lot of trust to be placed in Carlos Rodon at the moment. The Rays offense has been humming lately, putting up 35 runs over their last 6 outings, and Rodon has a career earned run average of 4.62 when facing Tampa Bay. That doesn't bode well. Although Rasmussen is likely to keep the Yankees in check for a while, it's worth noting that New York leads the majors in both runs and OPS. This one will be played at George Steinbrenner Field, which mirrors Yankee Stadium's dimensions, giving both offenses a familiar setup. The Yankees have scored at least 4 runs in 5 straight games. For the Rays, the over has cashed in 4 of their last 5 games, which shows both teams are involved in higher scoring affairs lately. In Thursday's game, the 2 teams combined for 9 runs, and they didn't have to break much of a sweat to get there. While Rasmussen's season numbers suggest a low-scoring battle might be in the cards, reality might say otherwise. He's been limited in usage, and the Yankees have enough firepower to force the issue early. Tampa Bay's bullpen has some cracks that could be exploited, and Rodon hasn't been as sharp as he needs to be, missing too many spots. Even if he shows slight improvement, the Rays are likely to push across enough runs on their end to do some damage. I'm anticipating a lot of offense in this one. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. San Diego Padres versus Houston Astros. The San Diego Padres, who currently sit at an impressive 15-4 on the season, are set to kick off a 3-game series against the Houston Astros, who have been struggling a bit at 8-10. That first game gets underway Friday. The Padres are coming off a solid showing at home, where they took 2 of 3 games from the Cubs. On the flip side, the Astros just wrapped up a road series in St. Louis, where they dropped 2 of 3 against the Cardinals. Neither starting pitcher is expected to go deep into this matchup, so it's probably smarter to take a step back and look at the bigger picture, both teams' full pitching staffs. Over the past week, there's been a clear divide in performance on the mound. San Diego has been on fire, leading the majors with a microscopic 0.98 team earned run average. Houston, by comparison, has been more middle of the pack, ranking 15th with a 3.63 earned run average in the same stretch. Offensively, both teams have been about even when it comes to hitting with runners in scoring position. But the Padres edge out slightly, ranking 16th in team OPS at .685 compared to Houston's .679, which lands them at 18th. Recent history leans towards San Diego too, as they've taken 5 of the last 8 meetings with Houston. This version of the Astros hasn't seen much action against left-handed pitching this year, and traditionally, they've been reliable in those situations. But this year's squad just doesn't resemble the dominant Astros teams we're used to. They've been wildly inconsistent from game to game, and it's been tough to trust them to put together solid outings back-to-back. Given where both teams are trending right now, this seems like a great opportunity for the Padres to land the first punch clinch in the series. As our first pick for this matchup, the San Diego Padres money line is our full game side pick. The Astros are the favorites going into this one, mostly because of what looks like a slight edge in the starting pitching department. But to be honest, neither team is trotting out an ace here, and there's a good chance we'll see a carousel of bullpen arms on both sides before the final out. Kyle Hart hasn't been fooling anyone on the mound. He's only managed 5 strikeouts across his last 3 starts, which speaks to a lack of swing and miss stuff. He's been leaning heavily on his offense to cover for him, but that's risky. The Padres put up 7 runs against the Guardians when Hart started, then followed that with 8 against the Cubs. Houston is sending out Gusto, who's more of a reliever by trade and has only made 1 start all year. That outing wasn't great. He gave up 3 earned runs over 4 innings to the Angels. With both teams boasting strong lineups and facing off against some shaky arms, this game has the makings of a slugfest. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Athletics versus Milwaukee Brewers. The Athletics are set to kick off a new series on Friday as they face off against the Milwaukee Brewers for the first time in this matchup. The Athletics enter the game with a record of 9-10, while Milwaukee stands just ahead at 10-9. This opening game is shaping up to be a strong one for Milwaukee. They've got a lot working in their favor. For starters, the Brewers had the luxury of a full day off on Thursday, meaning they didn't have to deal with any travel or fatigue. They'll come into this one rested and ready. On the other hand, the Athletics have to deal with a rougher schedule, first wrapping up a series against the White Sox in Chicago, and then heading out to face Milwaukee. The Athletics have had some recent success against a struggling White Sox team, but that momentum likely won't carry over now that the level of competition is about to rise. Milwaukee will put Freddie Peralta on the mound, their ace, who's already racked up 28 strikeouts this season. He's been effective at keeping opposing bats quiet, and he'll likely handle an Athletics lineup that's heavily dependent on the long ball, especially from Soderstrom. But Peralta has only allowed 1 home run in his last 3 starts, so the chances of a power surge from the Athletics are slim. On the flip side, the Athletics will start JT Ginn, who's still new to the big leagues and making only his 8th career start. It's a tough ask to expect him to keep the Brewers in check. As our first pick for this matchup, the Milwaukee Brewers money line is our full game side pick. Over the last couple of weeks, the Brewers have consistently found themselves in low-scoring games, and that trend looks like it might continue in this one. With their best pitcher, Freddie Peralta, getting the start and going up against an Athletics squad that's still under .500, there's reason to expect a tight game. While the Athletics offense has improved compared to last season, it still hasn't found a steady rhythm. On Wednesday, they only managed 3 runs, and 2 of those came from a triple by Gio Urshela, not exactly a sign of offensive dominance. Brent Rooker, one of their main hitters, is slumping with a .208 average, and although Soderstrom has been a bright spot, he'll be tested here against elite pitching. Peralta Athletics' early season form has been sharp. He's carrying a 2.31 earned run average and hasn't allowed more than 2 runs in any of his 4 outings. Meanwhile, the Brewers have hit the under in 6 of their last 7 contests. Both teams have been leaning on strong pitching lately. The Athletics have only surrendered 4 total runs over their last 3 games, while Milwaukee has allowed just 1 run in their past 2. JT Ginn looked solid in his season debut, and the Athletics will hope he can keep that going. But Peralta Athletics been dominant and looks poised to maintain that form. Offensively, Milwaukee hasn't scored more than 5 runs in over a week, and considering the pitching on both sides and some solid bullpen depth, this game seems likely to stay quiet on the scoreboard. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Twins versus Atlanta Braves. The American League Central squares off with the National League East this Friday night in the opener of a 3-game weekend series. Both the Minnesota Twins and the Atlanta Braves will be fresh and ready after enjoying a day off on Thursday, giving each squad a chance to reset before the action kicks off. Atlanta hasn't quite lived up to expectations through their first 18 games. The potential is there, sure, but at some point, they've got to start turning that into wins. That just hasn't been the case so far. Based on how they're performing, it's tough to feel good about them as the betting favorite right now. Bryce Elder has been especially shaky, giving up 12 hits and 8 earned runs in just 10 innings. 4 of those hits left the park. Meanwhile, the Twins have some momentum, coming off back-to-back wins over the Mets. Chris Paddock has shown improvement, giving up only 4 earned runs over his last 9 innings. All things considered, I can't get behind the Braves laying a price here. Minnesota at the more reasonable number feels like the smarter play. As our first pick for this matchup, the Minnesota Twins money line line is our full game side pick. Neither lineup has been lighting it up lately, but that could change on Friday thanks to a mix of warm weather and a pair of pitchers who haven't been sharp. Haddock's earned run average is pushing double digits, and Elder has been tagged in both of his outings, including giving up 4 homers. This could be a breakout night for Atlanta's offense in particular. They've gone over the total in 4 of their last 5 games leading into this series. Elder's trouble with the long ball makes him vulnerable if his command isn't there, and Paddock has pitched poorly enough that he'd rank dead last in earned run average among qualified starters if he had enough innings to qualify. Atlanta's recent trend toward the over, along with Minnesota's 2 overs and Paddock's 3 starts, points to a potential shootout. These two clubs combined for 36 runs in their 3 matchups earlier this season, which averages out to 12 runs per game. Truist Park usually plays well for hitters, and with the Braves swinging better bats at home, it's easy to envision a high-scoring affair to kick off the weekend. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. San Francisco Giants versus Los Angeles Angels. The Giants are hitting the road and heading down to Angels Stadium in Anaheim, California, where they'll face off against the Angels. It's a matchup between 2 second-place teams, with San Francisco sitting at 12-5 in the National League West, and Los Angeles holding a 9-8 record in the American League West. The Angels had the upper hand in their head-to-head meetings last year, taking 2 of 3 games against the Giants in 2024. Logan Webb faced this Angels lineup once back in 2023, and he really shut them down. The current group of Angels hitters has managed just 10 hits and 59 at-bats against him, with 1 double, 1 triple, and a pair of homers. On the flip side, Tyler Anderson has a 4-3 record and a 4.09 earned run average in 12 career starts against the Giants. The last time he pitched against San Francisco in 2024, he threw 5.1 innings, gave up just 1 run on 5 hits, and kept the game tight. The Giants lineup has gone 1-3 for 5-0 against Anderson, with 2 doubles and 3 home runs. Right now, San Francisco seems to be swinging the bats with more purpose than the Angels, but both teams are sending out starters who know how to keep games close. One area where the Giants might have a clear edge is in the bullpen. I've already brought up how much the Angels' bullpen has been struggling lately, and that's in sharp contrast to the Giants' recent work. Over their last 5 games, the San Francisco relievers have put up a 1.77 earned run average and a 3.65 WHIP across 20.1 innings. That kind of consistency in the later innings can be a game changer, especially if it's a low-scoring battle going into the 6th or 7th. Just when it looked like the Angels were starting to gain some momentum and string together wins, they turned around and dropped 4 straight games. During that losing stretch, they were outscored 19-7. So, once again, we find ourselves fading the Angels. Even the Giants' losses to the Phillies recently were competitive, and overall, they've looked like a well-rounded and tough club through 19 games. Logan Webb doesn't get as much hype as some other arms, but he's quietly been fantastic. Just 20 hits and 7 runs allowed in 24 innings, with 26 strikeouts. Against the current Angels lineup, he's allowing a .169 batting average with 24 punchouts and 59 at-bats. I'm not going to knock the Giants for splitting a series with a strong Phillies squad, but the Angels are slipping back into their old habits, struggling to score consistently. I'll keep backing San Francisco as long as they keep showing value, especially on the road. As our first pick for this matchup, the San Francisco Giants money line is our full game side pick. Yeah, I'm still nervous about what the Angels' bullpen might do, but if Webb and Anderson are on their games, this one probably won't turn into a shootout. Anderson has been sharp lately, giving up only 2 hits over his last 2 starts. Though the walks are creeping up, he's handed out 8 free passes in that span. As for Webb, he's not going to get beat up the way he did against the Yankees, not against this current Angels squad. The Angels did start April with some strong numbers against righties, a 140 WRC+, but over their past 5 games and 129 plate appearances, that number has dropped way off to 88. And let's be real, Logan Webb is not just some average right-handed pitcher. On the other side, the Giants haven't exactly crushed lefties either, posting a 91 WRC+ against them this month. So this has the makings of a low-scoring battle, especially early on. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.